You're looking live at an overcast sky above New Albany this evening as UPSL soccer action here in the Kentucky-Tennessee Conference features two of the top teams in the conference. The lead in the conference at stake here this evening as Tennessee Tempo FC comes to town to take on Southern Indiana FC. Today's game is brought to you by River City Mortgage, your dream, our commitment. Well, good evening, everybody, from wherever you may be watching here on the ISC Sports Network alongside Kristen Hazley. I'm Kurt Darling. A pleasure to be back with you here. And, Kristen, this is the game that everybody has had circled on their calendar here in the conference.
No doubt about it, Kurt. These two teams creating an excellent rivalry these days. Tennessee Tempo sitting number 1, but Southern Indiana right there behind them at number 2.
Both of these teams, of course, undefeated at home this season. 3-0 and 3-0 for both of these squads. So Southern Indiana protecting that home winning streak here this evening as well.
Absolutely. They've got the home field advantage. They've got the crowd behind them, and you mentioned it, undefeated at home. So they're going to be looking to protect their own pitch tonight.
You can take that as well when you take a look at the conference standings here so far this season here in the Kentucky-Tennessee Conference. Goal differential as well as win-loss record all in the hands of Tennessee Tempo at the top of the standings here, but Southern Indiana still keeping pace.
Yeah, you see there, they've got a game in hand, trailing there by 6 points. 3 points this evening would go a long way as far as getting back even with Tennessee Tempo at the top of that table.
So you have a lot to look for here as far as these two teams going at it here this evening in this particular ball game. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for Tennessee Tempo FC, under the tutelage of Robert Jepson as the head coach as well as GM Gif Nadam. You have lots of talented players here. Of course, Don Hauer in goal, but the main man to watch for on the attacking front is 22 number Harrison Watts.
Yeah, and Harrison Watts caused a lot of problems for this Southern Indiana FC defense when they went down and played at the Tempo's place a couple weeks ago. You know, he is strong, he's big, he's fast, and he's someone that the back line is going to need to keep tabs on throughout this match.
Jesse Ventura, another one to watch, who will be playing at that midfielder position for Tempo. Let's take a look at the teal now here. Zane Love getting the start in goal this evening in place of Caden Farrar, who is off tonight. But nevertheless, lots of talent here. Kellen Clegg in particular, the all-time leading scorer in club history, coming off of scoring his 20th career goal just a game ago.
Yeah, Kellen Clegg, a massive factor in tonight's game. You said it. Goal-leading scorer for this team. You know, I'm also looking at the captain, Jake Calderbank, and Nate Brown to try and kind of bring some more reinforcements and control the pace in the midfield.
You and I were talking before we went on the air about how things have really been changed up here as far as formation is concerned here for Southern Indiana FC. Casey McCloskey in particular, he'll be playing on one of those backline positions, but you'll see him pretty much all over the pitch.
Yeah, and it's a great understanding of the game that McCloskey has to be able to play that position. You have to have great decision making when it comes to stepping into tackles, when it comes to getting forward and in the attack, and when it comes to recovering and getting back in that defensive position.
Well, attention soccer fans, Soccer Post Clarksville is your go-to store for top quality gear, offering an extensive selection of apparel, footwear, and accessories for all your favorite brands. Locally owned and conveniently located off of I-65. We're here to support players, coaches, and teams alike. Visit us today or shop online at soccerpostclarksville.com. We're set to go here, of course, Tennessee Tempo in those very recognizable red kits. Southern Indiana FC in their gray kits with the teal shorts as well. Another player to watch for as well here on the bottom of your screen, Elam Dogby has 2 goals this season. He gets the start on the front line here as we get underway. Let's go ahead and take a look now at our keys to the game here for Kristen Hazley.
Absolutely. Well, number 1 is going to be the set piece battle, whether it's defending dead balls or whether it's taking advantage of the chances you get going forward. I think that's going to be a big determining factor in the match this evening. Let's fast forward here to game management. You know, the last game we saw these two match up, obviously Southern Indiana had to deal with a man down and a red card. Can you manage the game a little better? Can you control the pace? Can you play the way you want to? And finally, home cooking. We touched on it pregame. You know, Southern Indiana is undefeated at home. The Teal have a big crowd support behind them. They've got a lot of personal, emotional motivation for this matchup as well.
So here we go. as Southern Indiana trying to get on the attacking front here. Kellen Clegg had a really good run along with some help from Casey McCloskey. In the middle, here comes Elam Dogby, and it gets poked away here by Tempo. And one thing we talked about with Coach Dutch Vigar here earlier this week here, Kristen, is the fact that both of these teams love to possess the ball. So when you have two of teams who really love the possession, there's going to be a stalemate or even a really good battle for possession going to be at play.
Yeah, and Coach Dutch really emphasized that they need to let the ball move. They need to just easily switch positions, and if they do lose the ball in that middle third, it's got to be an instant 5 to 7 second chase to try and win it back.
And you see a lot of play here for possession as Jed McLeod takes it up the middle. Back and forth we go here between he and Elias as there's a poke away here to Elam. Elam Dogby lobs it up into the attacking third, and it will go a little bit too long and out of play, and it'll be a goal kick coming up here for Tempo.
Yeah, and a nice little combination there. You could see exactly what Coach Dutch was talking about, letting that ball move, whether it be inside. They're using diagonal angles and able to find it out wide, just a bit hard on that cross.
We certainly saw a little bit of it right there, how well both Jed and Elias McLeod work together. Both of them brothers, of course, but they've really been solid on that attacking mid-front, so to speak, here in the middle of the field.
Sure, and maybe they've got a little telepathic connection going on there to stay on the same page, but when those offensive players can work off each other and create that space, it just makes them all the more difficult to defend and more dangerous in front of the net.
That was Oduro here for Tennessee Tempo as he tries to push it forward. And now we see the defense being tested here for the Teal for the first time here today. Ball goes out of bounds, and it is a Tempo throw-in. Ventura will send it in here as he tries to look for Muirhead. And it goes out of play again off of the Teal, and it stays here with the Tempo. In Tennessee Tempo, formerly known as Beeman United FC before they rebranded in 2021, but since then have gone on to a lot of success, winning a conference championship 2 years ago, and of course subsequently the UPSL National Championship for the spring here earlier this year.
All right, we get ready for the long throw here. But you're absolutely right. How much more this win would mean for the Teal against the #1 defending national champions. It would be massive for not only their form currently, but for that confidence going forward in the postseason.
In fact, these two teams were likely destined to face each other in the conference postseason championship game, as we have a little bit of an attack now from the Tempo. It goes up and over the crossbar, that time off the foot of Daniel Sassano. That'll be the first shot taken here by Tempo. In fact, the first shot taken by either team here today, although it's off target.
Yeah, Sassano getting in that free in that middle area. At that 20 to 25 yard spot is where Tempo are looking to put some shots on goal. They're going to test keeper Zane Love and just try and get him moving and see what's available.
And you mentioned Zane Love. This is his first game back on the pitch since rejoining the squad during the offseason. He was the starter during the spring, but stepped away from the club and has since returned. But Caden Ferrara has been the starter up until this point, so Zane Love getting the start here this evening in the net. Here is Salati Husseini coming way off of his position. He gets into the attacking front this time as he tries to turn the corner, and it gets poked out of bounds. We have a whistle, and this is either going to be a free kick or it might be a corner. We'll see what the call is here. And it looks like the official is going to indicate a goal kick here for Tempo.
Yeah, it's a good shoulder-to-shoulder battle there going to that end line. I think there might have been enough there to call the free kick, but definitely does go out on the Teal. So a goal kick and a nice call by our referee.
The long ball sent forward here by the Red Kits. Southern Indiana trying to keep the possession rolling now here as you see a good possession by Calderbank. Here is McCloskey coming back here on this right back position. He gets it to Haji, and now up here to Salati Husseini. Husseini sends this one long, trying to track down Elam. And into the middle, here comes Calderbank. Calderbank back to McCloskey. Again, you see him, that roving defender, coming up here in the attacking third.
All right, McCloskey getting into that wide channel, combining 1v2 there, and that's the position we'll see those fullbacks kind of springing forward in. It's impressive organization by the Teal.
McLeod turns the ball over. Here comes Tempo with a little bit of dribbling this time from Henry Poku. Pushing it ahead. Off the feet that time of Otuanyi. Whistle. And a free kick coming here for Tempo as Clegg tried to win the possession that time.
Yeah, an unlucky bounce there for Kellen Clegg, but I loved the instant pressure the Teal put on when they lost that ball. And, you know, they might not have won it outright, but that pressure that they've put on the back line forces them to make incorrect passes or unforced errors.
Big steal here by McCloskey as McLeod is able to get it organized again back to Salati Husseini in the middle. Husseini's drive forward is batted around and it's taken back by Tempo, but McCloskey again with another steal. That's now McCloskey's third steal so far of the evening as he's really tried to get that possession battle. And you can tell that that has really been the main focus here for the Teal to try and keep that possession as Husseini tries to lob it in for Elam, and it's poked away here by Tempo.
Yeah, Coach Dutch earlier this week had said he expects to outpossess this Tennessee Tempo team. You know, he mentioned the last matchup, obviously they were forced to defend a little bit more than they wanted to, weren't able to keep as much possession, so he really wanted them to focus on that coming into this match, and so far they have had the lion's share of possession.
Here comes McLeod. Off the knees of the middle that time here for Tempo. A long run coming to try and chase down Brima Kamara. And it's poked out of bounds here by McCloskey. We'll be sure to taste the difference at Jersey Mike's. From the classic Italian to the flavorful Philly cheesesteak, every sub is packed with bold, delicious taste. Stop by Jersey Mike's in Charlestown or Jeffersonville, Indiana today for your sub above. Here is Sassano for the throw-in as he tries to set things up in here for Muirhead. And it's poked out here by the Teal defense. Here is Clegg trying to win the defense. Muirhead back on the defense here as he gets it to Lucas Donhauer. Long ball forward comes here from Marley. McLeod comes up with the steal off the long ball. It squirts into the middle. Loose ball taken by Muirhead. Into the middle. McCloskey applying some pressure here to Kamara, who's able to get around. And they're going to say that that was out of bounds. And a quick throw in here for Southern Indiana.
Yeah, nicely done by McCloskey there. You see him reading the pass and then arriving at the defender right as the ball does. So he's able to break down and really force Brima Kamara out of bounds.
We're into the 10th minute now, as both of these teams have been trying to feel each other out, the proverbial feeling out period between these two squads. But I would imagine that that has to be short and sweet because these two teams do know each other quite well.
Very well. You know, we look back to the spring matchup of these teams at home, and Southern Indiana really got the best of Tennessee Tempo that match, and Kellen Clegg with the hat trick, so you know this game means a lot to the Teal, and they want to protect this home field.
Elam is shoved from behind there as Poku able to win possession for Tempo. Southern Indiana, though, forcing the turnover in the mid. Here is McLeod. Gets it to some space out here to Husseini. Between Kramer and Husseini here, you see Harrison Watts, the dynamo striker here for Tempo, applying some pressure. But overall, as you mentioned here, Kristen, Southern Indiana has been able to win that possession game more often than not.
Yeah, and on top of that, as they keep the possession in force.
Here's a cross inside. And it's going to be won here this time by Elam Dogby, and it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, impressive crossover there. But, you know, as they keep possession and move it around the back or switch fields, they're forcing Watts to chase as he puts pressure on. You know, essentially helping to empty that tank. And when that ball does end up at his feet, maybe making him a step or two slower.
This will be our first set piece here of the ball game as Casey McCloskey will take the corner here from the near sideline. Southern Indiana has yet to get a shot off here today, whether it be on target or off. McCloskey leaves it on the ground for McLeod, who leaves it back for McCloskey. McLeod with a 2-on-1 situation here, facing off with Sassano. Lob inside, and it's poked out here by Tempo.
That's a good combination off the short corner there, and they just unable to find that 6, but it's a great ball. But well done for Tennessee Tempo. They've got the box filled, and they are marked completely.
Loose ball and a free kick here given to Tempo off of the tackle there from Calderbank. Tempo now getting a little bit of their own possession game going here in the mid as Otuanye tries to organize things here in the midfield. Otuanye tries to get it outside this time, and he picks it up with Kamara. Kamara tries to get one off there, but some excellent stiff defense by McCloskey, and it'll go out of bounds.
Yeah, McCloskey doing a nice job there of just breaking himself down. Patient pressure, does go for that tackle, but at the appropriate time when the shot's about to get off. So Tennessee Tempo will get the restart here, but it's a nice defensive stand there by that teal back line.
Well, Orion Renewable Energy Group is a proud sponsor of Southern Indiana FC. Orion puts the sun to work for Indiana families with clean, renewable energy. There's power in the sun, and Orion Renewable Energy Group is developing clean, green energy with new solar projects all across Southern Indiana. Learn more at orionrenewables.com. Go team, go solar power in Indiana. Here is Ventura with the lob. Lots of height here for Tempo to take advantage of, but a little bit too much defense there from Southern Indiana. Lobbing it back in here is Sassano, and Zane Love comes up to corral it and puts it immediately back in play. How about that one-legger there from Zane Love? He's able to get it to Clegg for a couple touches, but too many players to contend with here from Tempo.
Yeah, it's a great job by Love to come up, just clean it up. Great positioning, controls the top of his box, and the quick distribution that is on a dime there to Clegg up top.
Zane Love standing all of 6'4" in that box. He has a very tall frame to work with. Here is Sassano. Trying to work it around here with Marley.
And you see as the Teal go to put pressure on these back lines, they're trying to force them to one side of the field. They want to force either end line or the other sideline. So they're trying to avoid that switching of the fields by Tennessee Tempo. What that does is it just allows the Teal to force into an area, close them down, and try and win the ball back.
Well, Tempo is keeping possession at the moment here. Of course, the problem with that for them is the fact that it's staying in their back third as we have a whistle and a red card, or rather a yellow card, going to be issued to Jermaine Muirhead. And Muirhead showing some good sportsmanship right there, as it looked like that may have been Haji Abdikadir who came up there and took a knee to the gut.
Yeah, an unfortunate tackle there by Muirhead. It looks like he had his cleat up before he knew Abdikadir was coming in. So, nothing dirty there, but a good call by the referee. Anything where you've got cleats combining with some body parts, you're going to get a card.
So our first card here of the ball game gives a free kick here at the mid for Southern Indiana, as Haji going to walk things off here for a bit. And it looks like Southern Indiana may be making an early substitution here, as Haji's going to come off the field. So we'll see who comes in his place. Meanwhile, you have Elias McLeod standing over the ball here just off the midfield logo here at the Green Valley Soccer Complex. McCloskey off the feed here from McLeod. He sends it long to Jed McLeod, who tries to head that one up to Nate Brown, and it goes out of play.
Yeah, an interesting approach there to that set piece. They play short, keep the possession. Must not have been a great option right there. You see him going with the 50-50 ball in the air. Obviously, you can try and lock it in at that point, but just a bit of a waste of a set piece.
Well, you have Musagai right there appearing to take a shot to the face. Standing over it here is Lucas Donhauer, the goalkeeper, here for Tennessee Tempo. Guy being pressured here by Clegg. And pressure put forward here by Elam Dogby and McCloskey. McCloskey nearly wins the ball, but just gets an off touch that time out of bounds.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're trying to do with that high press. Force the tempo into a small area. You see McCloskey come on up and shut that option down end line, and they almost turn it into a counterattack there.
Here is Salati moving it forward. And it goes out of bounds. Well, good to see Haji Abdikadir back into the lineup, so he only came off, and Southern Indiana played with 10 men there for about 30 seconds or so as he got his injury all taken care of. Here is McCloskey sending it long to McLeod. He tries to head it back this time, and it goes out of bounds again. That was Nate Brown, I should say, who had the header to try and get it back to Jed McLeod, but it goes out of bounds. McLeod off the throw-in here from Husseini. Salati tries to look for some room. He gets it here with Elias McLeod and off to Jed. He lobs it inside. Here is Clegg. A little bit of an opening and goes just off target that time. Instead, it stays in play. And here is Elam Dogby. Dogby to McCloskey. Tries to feed it inside. It's poked around here and taken back here by Tempo. That's Poku who comes away with it. And he feeds it forward. And you can certainly see how physical this game it certainly is here, as Harrison Watts finally gets a touch on the ball here for the first time in this ball game.
Yeah, and you see there the risk-reward matchup of Southern Indiana FC going with that high press up top. You know, they do a nice job of getting McCloskey up there. They almost win the ball back, but as soon as Tempo is able to switch the field, they've got to recover so fast. And lucky not to see Watt get a diagonal touch towards goal there.
Jack Kramer was certainly ready to respond there as Elam Dogby applies some pressure off the inbound. In the middle here is Oduro. He pushes it over to Ventura. And now back into the hands of Poku. Poku to Sassano. Good defense here by Elam Dogby. Here is Guy, who lobs it up into the middle, and it's pushed forward here, but out of the reach of Watts. And here is Abdikadir to try and get things organized again, but Watts applying a little bit of pressure as he pushes forward to Elam Dogby. Here is McLeod. And that will be a free kick here for Southern Indiana before it went out of bounds.
Yeah, nice spell of play there by Dogby. You know, he sees that Sassano has his back towards the rest of the field, gets up on him tight, does not let him easily clear the ball, and then you see they're working that sideline, trying to find the outlet for the teal back line.
Husseini working with McLeod and Calderbank here as they set it back to Kramer. Here comes Nate Brown. The striker goes up the far sideline, tries to feed it into Clegg, and it's intercepted by the defense here of Tempo. That is Ali Marley who got away with the steal that time. Here is Oduro. Pushing it forward, trying to find Watts. Kicked out of bounds here. It's a Tempo throw-in.
Yeah, and it looks like Tennessee Tempo is wanting to go quick with that diagonal ball. They want to find the vertical ball, and they want Watts to get into a foot race almost. So that's what they're looking for quickly and early. If that's not on, then you see them do what they're doing here, where they're going to switch the field and try and find another point of attack.
Musagai working here with Sassano. Up into the middle now with Poku, who sends it long. Taken down here by Ventura. Ventura has a little bit of space. He and Kramer in between him, and Kramer gets the heel on that one and sets it up here for Husseini. Husseini and Brown trying to work it upfield. Pressure applied here by Ventura. Calderbank on the far sideline, stolen away by Ventura. Into the middle comes Tempo.
Good hustle there by Jake Calderbank to get back behind the ball after losing it.
Long roller comes into the feet of Sassano, and now here to Kamara. Kamara tries to get around McCloskey, and McCloskey just with enough harassment there to make it tough. It goes out of bounds, and they're going to say that was off McCloskey, and it's a corner here for Tempo.
Yeah, big first moment here for Tennessee Tempo getting the corner kick. We all know how dangerous those can be in this game, and as I highlighted in my keys to the game, I think set pieces and who defends them better is going to come down to who wins this game.
This is Gayi to set things up here. And correction, that's actually Otuwanyi who will put it back in. Otuwanyi with the line drive forward. Touched out. And it'll be a goal kick coming up again here for Southern Indiana FC. Well, be sure to transform your outdoors with Forever Lawn Kentuckiana. Get a beautiful low-maintenance lawn all year round with Forever Lawn Kentuckiana. Perfect for homes, businesses, and playgrounds. Get your free consultation today by visiting ForeverLawnKentuckiana.com. Forever Lawn Kentuckiana, beauty and durability in one. McLeod. Off the restart this time from Zane. Calderbank over to Kramer. Kramer gets the big boot this time. Husseini has to get into an onside position. Looks like he was just onside before he gets that ball. Husseini working with Jed McLeod. Here's Elias McLeod. Over to Casey. McCloskey one-on-one here with Kamara. McCloskey crosses it over. Nobody there that time. Here comes Clegg, along with some help from Elam Dogby.
Great cross there from McCloskey. No one far post for the Teal. Unable to find that near post runner, but it's a nice cross and great work by McCloskey.
Well, that looked like it might be a corner here for Southern Indiana, but they're going to say that that was off Elam Dogby last as we take a look at the replay here. And that's actually a good call by the line judge there. That was a heads-up play by Dogby to put it off of Sassano, but it ricocheted back off of Dogby out of bounds, and that's why we get the goal kick here for Tempo. Gayi. Ahead here to Muirhead. Touched out of bounds there by McLeod. McLeod gets the steal as he gets tripped from behind.
It's a great win by McLeod there, and obviously a great place to have a restart. We saw in that last free kick, they went almost vertical, route one to the top. It'll be interesting to see if they try and combine and work through the Tennessee Tempo lines.
And McCloskey wanting to work quickly here with the free kick. But the official gonna hold on things here as we get reset. The blessing given, and we're underway again. As Haji given a little bit of time here to try and set the table. Haji tries to dribble it forward, keeps possession despite the 2-on-1 and gets touched from behind. It goes out of bounds, and they're going to say it's a free kick to Southern Indiana here. A lot of pressure applied there by Kamara.
Yeah, nice call there by the fourth AR, and great pressure by Southern Indiana. We talked pregame, when they lose the ball in those difficult positions, it's got to be a 5 to 7 second, just as hard as you can go, whether you're recovering behind the ball or trying to win the ball back.
25 minutes have come and gone here in this opening half, and has been nothing short of competitive despite the score. but still only 3 shots taken combined between these two ball clubs, as just like we talked about here, it has been a game of possession. Who possesses the ball more? And so far, it has been pretty much even keel between both ball clubs.
Yeah, it's really been a battle in the midfield, obviously, to see who gets that possession, but also how do you spring forward? We've seen both sides get some looks at each net. You know, I would say Tennessee Tempo right now is trying to find that diagonal through ball, whereas Southern Indiana is willing to play wide through those channels.
Tempo trying to get the attacking third organized. This is Ventura, who has a bit of an opening for a cross. Headed up here by McCloskey, and then Salati comes up for some help along with Haji. And here is Sassano, who at least wins the ball that goes out of bounds.
Yeah, you hate giving up a corner in that situation, but Casey McCloskey doing everything. A brilliant header there. Had to have it because that's Sassano right on the backside ready to finish.
This time it'll be Brima Kamara to put it back in play. Leaving it short. Kramer comes away with the interference. He's just going to heave that one up and just out of bounds, and it will be another corner here for Tempo.
And that's the second corner Kamara has taken where he's trying to go to that near post. Low-driven ball. If it gets through there, it can cause chaos for Love and his 6. But so far, it's been pretty simple to clear that short ball to the near post.
Kamara again. McCloskey able to get there first. McCloskey comes away off the rebound, this time from Clegg. And McCloskey with some excellent footwork here, splits the defenders, just keeps it in play, and now comes up into the attacking third. But he has a lot of red to contend with here. He has to get rid of it, find some help, but it's stolen away by Tempo.
Yeah, just a little slow on that transition from defending the corner to being on the counterattack. Obviously, McCloskey does well to keep that in, but just doesn't have the numbers with him.
Certainly a lot of ground to cover on the typical soccer pitch right there, going from a set piece like that all the way back the other way as quickly as McCloskey did. Kramer threads the needle up the gut this time. Clegg can't get there. Coming down with it this time is Poku. Marley out to Ventura. Ventura comes back into the mid. And he sets it up forward here, and the wet flag is up, and offside is the call as you saw Otuanye come on that run.
Yeah, Otuanye just a step or two ahead of that back line, but well done by the Teal. They recognized where the run was going, where the ball was headed, and went ahead and held that line to get the offsides call.
McCloskey threads it forward, tries to find Clegg, who takes a bump from the back, tries to set himself up, but right there first, that time is Sassano.
Yeah, and Southern Indiana playing a bit of a 4-2-3-1-ish, and you see Clegg up there on his own, essentially. They're doing great at rotating forward and supporting him, but he almost has to delay that ball. He's got to go 1v4 with his back to the goal for about 5 or 6 seconds while the Teal transition to give him some support.
Clegg gets a little bit of a run here for Elam Dogby. Dogby one-on-one with Sassano. Threads it inside. Nobody home there for Southern Indiana. Husseini with a little bit of a heavy touch as Otuanye comes up with the turnover. This is Muirhead. Muirhead tries to get the spinner that time to Kamara. It goes out of play, and McCloskey will put it back in. McLeod into the middle here to Jed. Jed McLeod tries to find Nathan Brown. Clegg wins the ball, but Brown is just out of position that time. That was the right idea there from Clegg. Here comes Husseini with the steal. Stolen back again here by Tempo.
And see how high Husseini is. This is the counterattack that can kill the Teal as you get forward.
That was a heavy run coming here from Ali Marley, who is way off of his defensive line. And Jack Kramer, who has been a stalwart on the back line here for the Teal this season, able to come up with a big steal. But we saw a little bit of this in the last match here, Kristen. A lot of this long ball play here from Southern Indiana that's coming up with some empty possessions.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily a bad idea to start. You know, we talk about that probing period, and that's a lot of that first 20 minutes when you do have possession, is finding the soft spots in that back line. And you mentioned it, a lot of those 50-50 balls going to that top line, they're losing them. And so I'd like to see him kind of build more through the channel like we see him here. You know, he's got to have a support drop there. He can't take on Sassano on his own.
A late whistle here by the referees as it's going to be a free kick for Southern Indiana just off the near sideline. McLeod, right at the center logo, feeds it over to Brown. Nate Brown, the leading goal scorer this season for Southern Indiana, has really not been able to get a clear look at goals so far here today.
Yeah, the Teal in general struggling to find those shots on frame. We saw a couple chances come from the combination wide as he tries to go wide again.
Here's
in the cross.
McCloskey into the attacking third. It's padded around here like a pinball. But Tennessee tempo has been very, very good in front of their own goal whenever Southern Indiana is able to get that pressure. Here is Watts. Just keeps it in play. He goes forward, harassed by Kramer from behind, and it'll be stolen away here by the Teal.
You said it, Kurt. The Tennessee tempo back line just looking very comfortable, really compact when they need to be, handling those 50-50 balls and not giving up a lot in terms of the middle possession.
Jed McLeod ahead to Brown. Brown one-on-one with Ventura. He has some help there from Clegg as we get a little bit of a miscommunication and out of position there as Clegg to try and keep it in play.
And I like the run from Clegg. He comes back, doesn't overlap there with Brown, and then they try and find him on the end line. He's just not wide enough, and then not a good enough pass there for the Teal to convert it forward.
Well, if you're craving the ultimate gourmet hot dog, sausages, and burgers, look no further than Doghouse, made with top-quality ingredients and served on their signature King's Hawaiian Rolls. Every bite is a game-changer. Visit Doghouse today and taste the difference. Check out the full menu at doghouse.com. Here is Nate Brown. Has a cross in front of the goal this time. Nearly an opening there. It'll be a corner. No, it will not. It'll be a goal kick for Tempo. Elam Dogby pleading with the ref to try and get a corner here.
Let's take a quick look. It's a nice job to get end line and the cross. Oh, yeah. Should be a corner.
That should be a corner. Elam Dogby definitely has a case, but unfortunately at this level, you don't have VAR to come in here and swoop in, unfortunately. But either way, it is what it is. Haji Abdi Kadir gets the one touch to get back into the middle. Here is a tough run now for Tempo. Otuanyi comes up again here on Love, who comes off his line to grab the ball.
Yeah, Love not even having to go to ground there. And that's what correct positioning can do for a keeper. It makes everything else look simple when you just take a step or two.
We should note for our watching audience as well that my partner is a former goalkeeper, so she's certainly qualified to talk about positioning as well. A tough attack here by Southern Indiana is foiled by Tempo. We have a whistle. And can't quite see what the infraction was here, but it's going to be either a free kick or a goal kick here from the penalty area.
It looks like a free kick, but I'm not sure if maybe it was offsides on the previous play. I didn't see much in the terms of contact, but we could have missed it.
So I'm guessing it's some sort of offside call that was on Southern Indiana. Either way, here comes Poku. Pushes it ahead. 0-2 Onyi into the middle, this time stolen away by McLeod. Calderbank with some help here from Dogby. Dogby nearly gets it stolen away from him as he gives it back to McLeod.
And that's the part where they need to let the ball move. Just the ball is second too long on Dogby's foot, and he's lucky to get away without turning it over.
Oduro steals it away from Dogby. Kamara, a little off his attacking position, gets it back to Oduro. Here is 0-2 Onyi. Now off to Muirhead.
It seems like just a step off the press, and this could be strategic from Southern Indiana.
Here's a tough run for Tempo. Watts comes in. Zane gets off that time and comes away with a big play. What a heads-up effort by Zane Love. Welcome back into the net.
And you can see why the Teal fans love Zane Love. This is an excellent job. He sees that first touch, starts creeping his way out, gets the touch, and then cleans it up here, keeps the ball on the right side of the goal line. So it is not a goal kick. He'll have it in his hands, but a brilliant job from Zane Love, just coming out and making himself big.
Nate Brown can't quite track down that long ball. By the way, that's the first shot on goal that we have had all game here today. 4 shots overall taken between these two ball clubs here in 37 minutes of action.
Yeah, an interesting matchup here. We've had very high scoring matchups between these two teams before, and right now it's looking like a stalemate in the midfield. It'll be interesting to see if either team breaks through, what that opens up.
Here's a chance for Southern Indiana. Calderbank has it off to Dogby. Dogby has a little bit of help from McCloskey along with Clegg, but gets caught in a traffic jam there. And a good defensive play from Kamara.
I don't hate the idea there from Dogby to go ahead and run at that back line with speed. You've got to test that. You've got to make them defend you. I just think if he gets it off his foot a second or two later, they might be able to keep that in their attacking third.
Kramer keeps Watts in front of him here as both of them battle for position. Muirhead with Salati. And a throw in here for, it'll actually be a free kick quickly here taken by Ventura. Tempo will bail out of this one here and they'll reset the attack. Sassano. 0-2 Onyi. Takes a bump from behind here by McLeod. Dogby along with Calderbank able to come away with the steal.
Yeah, excellent pressure there, and Calderbank's gonna go down and get the free kick, but you saw Calderbank, McLeod, and McCloskey, all three of them attacking in that midfield position. And as soon as a Tennessee Tempo midfielder holds the ball a second too long, that's where they should be collapsing.
Calderbank took a pretty good bump right there as we've got to get the ball back up into the proper spot here for the free kick, which will likely be taken by Haji Abdikadir. And Haji will get things going here with McCloskey. And a mistouch there, a little bit heavy from Calderbank.
Yeah, right idea, just mistimed there a bit. McCloskey a little high. You can see him excited to get into that attack. Southern Indiana hasn't had a sustained one in a second here, so McCloskey trying to force that ball forward.
Tough defense from Southern Indiana. Here is McLeod along with Calderbank, who gets bumped from behind again, and another free kick right at the same position that it was just a few moments ago.
Certainly doing his work there. Calderbank kind of sits in front of that back line, used to work between the lines of each team they play, and he's got great vision and knows when to turn and knows when to just play the way he is.
5 minutes left in the half here, with stoppage time notwithstanding. Just tough fight for position and possession at the same time here between these two ball clubs.
Yeah, both clubs doing a nice job of defending in their respective defensive thirds, especially in the midfield. The Teal are doing a nice job of cornering the tempo when they find them up against that baseline.
And they're going to say Kamara was out of bounds when he touched that ball, so it'll be McCloskey to put it back in here for Southern Indiana. Well, for over 50 years, Martin's Body Shop and Clarksville Collision have been Southern Indiana's top collision repair centers with certified technicians and locations in New Salisbury, Georgetown, and Clarksville. They'll handle your insurance claims and get you back on the road fast. Choose Martin's Body Shop and Clarksville Collision. Find them online or on Facebook. Haji sends it over to Kramer. With a little bit of help here from Elias McLeod. Comes ahead here to Nate Brown. Brown gets around Otuwanyi in the attack. Tries to cross it forward to somebody, but nobody there. Into the middle with Jed. Ahead to Dogby. Dogby at the top. He puts a shot away, a little off target there, but the right idea from Dogby is that's only the second shot taken this half here by Southern Indiana.
Yeah, good look from Dogby. You see it come back in the midfield. McLeod's able to find him. He almost just needs a half step more, but you don't have any issue at all taking that 25, 30-yard shot out. You know, they haven't had an opportunity to really test Donhauer, and so, you know, anything they can put on frame, make him work a bit, is positive momentum for the Teal.
Well, taking the match to the Apex and keeping the energy high, Apex Music is the official DJ of Southern Indiana FC. From game day hype to unforgettable events, Apex delivers top-tier entertainment. Whether you need a DJ for your next party, wedding, or corporate event, they've got you covered. Learn more at apexmusiclou.com. That is apexmusiclou.com. Just a few more minutes of regulation here with stoppage time still to be determined. Break here for Southern Indiana as McLeod gets caught up in a quite literally quadruple coverage there.
Yeah, I like the decision to drop it there. They're able to just pivot to the left side, and now they've got some space.
Here is Brown. He comes right onto the top of the 18 corner, but just gets his pocket picked there by Poku.
Well done by Poku. Anytime you're making those tackles in the box, you've got to be precise. Obviously, you don't want to give up a free kick or a penalty in the wrong area. It was a clean tackle and well-timed there by Poku.
Free kick deep in their own third here for Tennessee Tempo, as it's Marley standing over the ball. Marley will put his boot into it here as we're in the final minute of regulation. Pushing forward here, McCloskey comes back with it. Here's Dogby. Leaves it for McLeod. McLeod tries to set up McCloskey, who sets up himself with some space. And ahead here to Clegg, who tries to get some traffic here into the penalty area. No whistle there as Dogby comes away with it.
It's a beautiful possession there by the Teal. You see the combo on the right side.
And Haji came up there and gave a shot to Otuwanyi.
And they'll want to go quickly. Obviously, the Teal just kind of delaying here. A little bit of strategery, if you will. They're going to put Dogby in front of the ball and just try and withstand these last couple minutes.
So the final seconds of regulation have come and gone. We are in the first minute of stoppage time. Here is Muirhead. Way up off position. It goes out of bounds and a throw in here for Tempo.
And well defended there as Justin Ventura goes out to take the throw in for the Tempo. From this position, they've got to be very careful of the long throw into the 6. It could essentially be like a second corner kick.
Headed back up and out here by Southern Indiana. Muirhead with some space in the attacking third, lobs it up to the far sideline. Here comes Kamara. Kamara gets inside, sets it up top this time for Oduro. Oduro back here to Poku, ahead to Muirhead, and tripped up there at the top of the 18. It's going to be last touch there by Jermaine Muirhead. And what was going to be a goal kick turns in to the final whistle of halftime as we are 0-0 on the scoreboard here in this contest. Well, if you're looking for the perfect spot to unwind, the Exchange in New Albany offers delicious, locally inspired dishes, craft cocktails, and a great atmosphere for any occasion. Whether you're celebrating a win or just enjoying a night out, the Exchange is the place to be. Visit exchangeforfood.com to explore the menu and plan your visit today. It is 0-0 here at halftime between Southern Indiana FC and Tennessee Tempo. You're watching UPSL Soccer here on the ISC Sports Network.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we are part of, actually, the entirety of, at least from an on-air standpoint, Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. It's appropriately named. It's charitably award-winning. And, Derek, now we venture into season number 5. Hard to believe.
5 of them. 5 of them. Can you believe it? 2 best buds talking Colts, Pacers, Indiana sports, every Tuesday night, 7:30, ISC Sports Network, and on socials as well.
It is made possible, of course, by the people who watch and listen every single week. We are most appreciative. We look forward to season number 5.
Ready to transform your health game? Let me introduce you to Jeff City Mix. Imagine delicious boosted teas that energize your day. And meal replacement shakes that actually taste amazing. I mean, who knew healthy could be so tasty, right? Whether you're juggling a busy schedule or just need that extra push, Jeff City Mix has got your back with one-on-one coaching tailored just for you. So if you're ready to kickstart your journey to a healthier lifestyle, don't wait. Come visit us at 2903 East 10th Street in Jeffersonville, Indiana. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at Jeff City Mix and Instagram at jeffcity.mix. We can't wait to serve you, and be sure to ask us about our 5-day challenge. And we will see you soon at Jeff City Mix.
Well, we are not at the beginning of the game. We are at halftime here in this one on the ISC Sports Network as Kentucky-Tennessee Conference action here in UPSL. Southern Indiana FC knotted up at 0-0 with Tennessee Tempo FC with a battle for the top of the conference here at stake. Alongside Kristen Hazley, I'm Kurt Darling. Welcome back here, of course, as it has been an excellent match so far as, well, gameplay is concerned. Both teams trying to really play to their strengths, and, of course, that's possessing the ball.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. These teams making it a little tough on each other as well, both successfully using that midline block to really force the opposing offenses to use those wide channels and try and find the possession out wide. Not giving up a lot of chances in that middle and attacking third of the field.
You can certainly see how polished both of these squads are in particular, but when you get those attacks going up into those attacking thirds on either side, both defenses have really been holding firm when they get down in those stressful situations.
Yeah, and it was key for Tennessee Tempo to kind of withstand that first barrage. You knew Southern Indiana was going to come out ready to go, trying to find that attack and use that home field advantage. Well done by the Tempo to withstand, and then Southern Indiana has also been looking really organized in that back line.
Of course, the final part of that back line has been the play of Zane Love, who we'll see in the highlights coming up here in the next segment. But nevertheless, that one save that he made there on a really good break from Tennessee Tempo just shows pretty much how indicative it is that he's really been solid here in his play whenever they've been in that situation.
Yeah, clearly no rust there for Zane Love. He comes in, and, we mentioned the positioning. He does well to make his feet available. He does well to come out and clean up anything that might be trickling into the box. And you mentioned it, the one big save of the half. He comes out, gets big, and stuffs Watts, as we know how dangerous he can be on the offensive end.
You talk about Watts. So far, Southern Indiana has done a really good job of neutralizing him. He's only had a couple really good touches here. Other than that, he's pretty much been held in check.
Yeah, and he likes to play that high line, similar to what we see Kellen Clegg doing for the Teal. And so sometimes you'll see him up there. He's trying to work off that back line, Watts is, but he's trying to find that isolation ball, whether it be wide or a through ball in the middle. And historically this year, that's how we've seen him find his way to the front of the net.
Based on how these two teams have met, though, going up on that attack for Southern Indiana, you have a lot of those really good chances, but they've only been maybe one or two touches or so, namely that one attack late in the half with Kellen Clegg in particular. But still, as you go into this second half, if you're head coach Dutch Vigar for Southern Indiana, what do you do schematically to try and get a little bit more space off of those that back line from Tennessee Tempo?
Yeah, and part of it is credit Tempo's midline block, right? They're forcing the Teal to play out wide. They're forcing them to combine wide. That's why we've seen McCloskey so much up forward, up tight. Now, as far as creating more space, they need to do a better job of holding that ball up, right? If you're 1v4, you've got to be able to keep the ball while your team gets up behind you and provides those supportive or overlapping runs to try and get forward.
It's certainly going to be interesting going into this next 45 minutes. It's halftime here at the Green Valley Soccer Complex as Southern Indiana and Tennessee Tempo knotted at 0-0 here midway through. You're watching Southern Indiana FC Soccer here on the ISC Sports Network.
My name is Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we are part of, actually the entirety of, at least from an on-air standpoint, Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. It's appropriately named. It's charitably award-winning. And Derek, now we venture into season number 5. Hard to believe.
5 of them. 5 of them. Can you believe it? 2 best buds talking Colts, Pacers, Indiana sports every Tuesday night, 7:30, ISC Sports Network, and on socials as well.
It is made possible, of course, by the people who watch and listen every single week. We are most appreciative. We look forward to season number 5.
Ready to transform your health game? Let me introduce you to Jeff City Mix. Imagine delicious boosted teas that energize your day. And meal replacement shakes that actually taste amazing. I mean, who knew healthy could be so tasty, right? Whether you're juggling a busy schedule or just need that extra push, Jeff City Mix has got your back with one-on-one coaching tailored just for you. So if you're ready to kickstart your journey to a healthier lifestyle, don't wait. Come visit us at 2903 East 10th Street in Jeffersonville, Indiana. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at Jeff City Mix and Instagram at jeffcity.mix. We can't wait to serve you, and be sure to ask us about our 5-day challenge. And we will see you soon at Jeff City Mix.
Well, despite the lack of scoring here, Kristen Hazley, we do have some highlights from this first half.
Yeah, and early on, you see the Teal getting into the box. A nice look there, just goes wide. Dogby tries to get on the other end of it. And then we move forward. Another great attack here. A good combination in the midfield. Just not enough on that shot from Dogby, about 25, 30 yards out. And then we talked in our previous break about the play of Zane Love in this first half. You see him coming out here. This is the big save against Watts. Gets out, gets big, gets the touch, and then cleans it up. And that is massive as you see Watts colliding there with Love. Then we had a few yellow cards as well on this evening in the first half, mostly against the Tempo. Nothing I'd categorize as too dirty. That one just an accidental collision there. You hate to see a collision to the chest, but obviously nothing dirty, and that still going to be a yellow card.
So those are all the highlights that we have here for you on this one, as it's halftime between these two ball clubs going into this second half here in just a little bit. Again, as we talked about, the top of the conference is at stake right now here. If Southern Indiana can at least get one back, they would at least move within a half game of the lead of Tennessee Tempo. Granted, that's only because Tempo have played one more game than Southern Indiana at this juncture of the season. But as you take a look at them again here, you can ill afford to at least get another loss here, even though both of these two squads here are pretty well clear of the rest of the conference.
You're right. These two are sort of in a race to the top, if you will. Obviously, Tennessee Tempo has that one more game played, which is why you see that difference. What stands out to me, though, as well in this table is if you look at the goals against, obviously Tennessee Tempo and Southern Indiana at the top with 2 goals allowed and 3 goals allowed. As you go down, it just gets higher and higher. And most of those goals come from this team, both of these teams, as you see 31 goals for Tennessee and 24 for Southern Indiana. So both teams scoring at a high clip, both teams defending really well too. So it really is the classic matchup battle in this match.
And you also saw that goal differential as well. Tempo is about 8 goals to the good on that. So even if they become tied at the end of the season when it comes to record, Tempo still has that 8-goal differential to at least give them that edge.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of high-scoring games, obviously, in this Kentucky-Tennessee conference this fall season. Still the opportunity, for Southern Indiana to make up that goal differential. It just makes it that much more important. If you're Coach Dutch, you've really got to pour the pressure on, even if you are up 6-7 goals, because it could come down to that.
There are goal scorers on both of these ball clubs as we go through the latter half here of the fall season. We'll take a final timeout. When we come back, second half coming at you next here, 45 to go here on the ISC Sports Network.
My name is Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we are part of, actually the entirety of, at least from an on-air standpoint, Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. It's appropriately named. It's charitably award-winning. And Derek, now we venture into season number 5. Hard to believe.
5 of them. 5 of them. Can you believe it? 2 best buds, talking Colts, Pacers, Indiana sports, every Tuesday night, 7:30, ISC Sports Network, and on socials as well.
It is made possible, of course, by the people who watch and listen every single week. We are most appreciative. We look forward to season number 5.
Ready to transform your health game? Let me introduce you to Jeff City Mix. Imagine delicious boosted teas that energize your day. And meal replacement shakes that actually taste amazing. I mean, who knew healthy could be so tasty, right? Whether you're juggling a busy schedule or just need that extra push, Jeff City Mix has got your back with one-on-one coaching tailored just for you. So if you're ready to kickstart your journey to a healthier lifestyle, don't wait. Come visit us at 2903 East 10th Street in Jeffersonville, Indiana. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at Jeff City Mix and Instagram at jeffcity.mix. We can't wait to serve you, and be sure to ask us about our 5-day challenge. And we will see you soon at Jeff City Mix.
Well, attention soccer fans, Soccer Post Clarksville is your go-to store for top quality gear, offering an extensive selection of apparel, footwear, and accessories from all of your favorite brands. Locally owned and conveniently located off of I-65, we are here to support players, coaches, and teams alike. Visit us today or shop online at soccerpostclarksville.com. Halftime coming to its conclusion here at the Green Valley Soccer Complex alongside Kristen Hazley. I'm Kurt Darling. Second half about to get underway here between these two top dogs in the Kentucky-Tennessee Conference. Tennessee Tempo and Southern Indiana both knotted at 0-0 apiece. We talked about it a little bit during halftime here, Kristen. Just to reiterate, what do you want to see from the Teal going into this second half?
Well, they did a nice job in that first half of using the press when they've lost the ball, and Tennessee Tempos has the possession in their defensive third. They need to force some more errors. They need to pick up the ball after those and find that advanced ball forward. You know, we were just chatting. I think Tempo had a little bit more threatening chances in that first half, just strictly based on the fact that they went fast. They knew they could find Watts up top. Southern Indiana, the Teal, are just kind of struggling to find that final pass that frees either Clegg or someone else in on goal.
Kristen, in your playing days, what would you consider good soccer weather?
Ooh, probably a little warmer than this, but not too much. I mean, I love an evening game. You know, there's nothing like playing under the lights, especially on turf. Turf usually gets about 10 degrees hotter if it's sunny out there. So sometimes a nice sunny winter day, hey, you're not too bad on the turf.
So you're not crazy like our mutual friend Brant McCoskey, who likes windy, rainy, cold weather as a former striker.
Everything about that windy, rainy, and cold make my job as a goalkeeper so much harder. I got to deal with the wind, the rain, and the cold. Nope. Not good for goalkeeper weather, maybe for Brant.
By the way, Brant McCoskey watching at home, of course, with us in spirit, of course, as we continue on with this second half. Tennessee Tempo getting some last words of wisdom from head coach Robert Jepson and sending back out here on to the pitch we go. So Tennessee Tempo will be going from left to right on your screen. Southern Indiana in vice versa manner, going from right to left. And it will be Tempo who get the opening kick here to start this second half.
If you're Southern Indiana, I think you really want to go out and set the pace these first 10 minutes. You know, you've got the home crowd behind you. You got them to halftime 0-0. Can you put the pedal to the metal these first 10 minutes and try and find some separation from the Tempo?
So Harrison Watts standing over the ball here right at the center field spot. Otuwanyi standing just off the ball as well. You also see Dominic Oduro for Tennessee Tempo. It appears the regular starting lineup is back out onto the pitch here for Southern Indiana. Made up, of course, of Kellen Clegg at that attacking mid, along with Nate Brown and Elam Dogby making up the three attackers. Jake Calderbank back out here as well, wearing the captain's armband.
Obviously, McCloskey having a really busy first half on that right side. It'll be interesting to see if Tempo tries to shut him down in that channel, and if that means the Teal have to switch and rotate, it could be advantageous to them to stretch that Tennessee Tempo defense out.
Southern Indiana getting the steal here off the first possession from Tempo as Haji looks long to try and find Elam Dogby, and taken back again here between these two ball clubs. Calderbank hooks it up here with Clegg, who has the running Dogby. Dogby tries to cut the corner, and some good defense played there on that back line from Daniel Sassano.
Excellent work there by the Teal. They see the ball go into the middle, and it looks like that's what's triggering that press. You see the three Teal players collapse, win the ball, and then combine quickly to go into their attacking third.
Here is Husseini. He tries to turn it around here on Oduro, who sticks to Husseini like Velcro. And how about that boot here from McLeod to get possession back?
Yeah, critical touch from McLeod. Otherwise, Tempo are counterattacking the other way.
Brown splits the defenders, tries to get up into the attacking third, leaves it for Husseini, and now off to McLeod and over to Kramer. McLeod Back to Husseini right here on the mid, just right there off of the line that time. And it just stays in play. And that's a good time to mention here as the ball goes out of bounds that in the game of international soccer, if the ball touches the line, it is still in play. It has to come immediately out of the field of play to be considered out of bounds. Watts keeps it in play. Husseini takes it up now, leaves it for McLeod, and it's stolen away by Watts. Well, you and I were talking a little bit during the break here at Kristen Hazley about who may have had a little more possession than the other between these two ball clubs, and we theorized that it was Southern Indiana, but not by much, as both teams have really been able to get good possession.
Yeah, and you see it kind of repeating right now a bit. You know, Southern Indiana obviously had that first look in, but it's a battle on these outside channels. When the Teal have the ball, the tempo are shutting down quick, especially up against that touch line. You almost use it as a second defender.
Some one-touches here as Husseini curves it around to find Elam Dogby on the other end of the pitch. Dogby, shake and bake here, getting close to the 18. He gets tripped up right off the 18, and this is going to be a really big opportunity for Southern Indiana as you have a free kick here just off of the right corner here at the top of the 18-yard line.
Yeah, and it's a great run by Dogby. Beats the first defender, and then it looks like it's Kamara there that just steps in, cuts him off. You cannot do that. It's going to be a foul. Beautiful spot right outside the 18. It'll be interesting to see, where this service goes. I'm thinking probably flighted around the top of the 6, but you've got to keep it away from Donhauer.
The official going to walk off the yardage allowed here for Tempo's wall as it'll be just inside about maybe 5 yards in off of the corner. You have Nate Brown and Casey McCloskey talking some strategy here as they both stand over the ball. So either Brown or McCloskey as the whistle given. And both of them faking it out now as they try to see what Tempo tries to do. McCloskey gets inside, header up and up just off of the crossbar there. And coming down with it is Donhauer.
Nice work there by the Teal. Obviously a little attempt at the fake out there, and then McCloskey quickly plays in just a nice light flighted ball. I think it was Husseini there that got the head on it. Right where they wanted it, just a little bit too easy there for Donhauser to clean up above his head.
First shot on goal today here by Southern Indiana as McCloskey with a beautiful service, and you're right, it was Husseini who was able to get the right angle on it, but Donhauer is there to clean it up.
Yeah, and credit to Husseini, as he goes in the air, he knows where he's at in relation to the goal. That's a tough redirection there when you're in front of the near post. So credit him on finding that right touch and deflection to try and put it on frame.
Tempo going to get the ball back here with the throw-in. Well, be sure to taste the difference at Jersey Mike's. From the classic Italian to the flavorful Philly cheesesteak, every sub is packed with bold, delicious taste. Stop by Jersey Mike's in Charlestown or Jeffersonville today for your sub above. McLeod in a lot of traffic here as Southern Indiana tries to win possession. Clegg nearly got a toe on that one, but it's touched out of bounds here by Tempo.
And I like how assertive the Teal are being out of halftime, being the home side and being in good form. Coach Dutch thought that they could come in and really outpass this team, outpossess this team, and come out with the win.
Calderbank nearly had a good one-touch there to try and set himself up, but it's cleared out here by Tempo. Loose ball corralled here by Dogby. Dogby tries to split the defenders, gets touched from behind, a whistle and a free kick here for the Teal.
Another dangerous position. This one probably around 35 yards. Again, just trying to find that quick ball, potentially over the top, but not too deep where Donhauer can get it. Just right in that central area. put it into some action and see if anything good happens.
This time it appears it'll be McCloskey himself to stand over the ball as we get the reset. McCloskey lobs it up. Nobody home there for Southern Indiana.
Similar look at that last free kick. Really similar, just unable to find a teal head there. Not a very driven ball either, so it would have been a little tough to redirect that with some pace.
Loose ball in the middle. Husseini tries to come away with it. Instead, it's Tempo. And just out of the reach of Watts. Stolen away here by Otuanyi. Ventura working with Otuanyi. Back and forth they go along the near sideline. Ventura takes a small little bump there from Husseini. That's enough to draw a whistle and a free kick. This is Poku standing over it. Southern Indiana staying off the ball here, packing the penalty area. Poku curves it inside to try and find Otuanyi, and it's easily handled here by Southern Indiana, but on the rebound and a shot way off target there by Gayi, and that's out of play.
Yeah, just early comparison on in this half. See a set piece there by Tennessee Tempo. We've seen 2 from Southern Indiana. I listed that as one of my keys to the game. Set pieces, defending as well as attacking. By my count, that's about the 4th restart that I would consider quote-unquote wasted for Tennessee Tempo. You know, whether it was those 3 corners that all went short, near post, easy clearance. Same thing on that free kick there. Ball came in behind your attackers. Really difficult to do anything with that.
So Haji Abdi Kadir will take the little bump from Zane Love. And here comes Calderbank. And Kellen Clegg wasn't quite ready to get there on the service from Calderbank. Tempo with an opportunity. Here's a run forward this time, coming on the near side. Haji Abdi Kadir, an excellent defender, and he gets tugged from behind that time by Brima Kamara. Free kick here for Southern Indiana.
Great defensive stand there by the Teal. He goes step for step down the line with Muirhead, able to just meet him at that end line. Great deflection, and then credit the Teal for coming out, cleaning that up, and getting the restart.
Nate Brown. And just a mistouch here on the run, and that gives it automatically back to Tempo. Well, Orion Renewable Energy Group is a proud supporter of Southern Indiana FC. They're putting the sun to work for Indiana families with clean, renewable energy. There's power in the sun, and Orion Renewable Energy Group is developing clean, new energy for new solar projects all across Southern Indiana. To learn more, go to orionrenewables.com. Go team, go solar power in Indiana. Well, same old here for the most part between these two ball clubs. Possession has certainly been the hot commodity between these two. It's just a matter of what you do with it, as here's a run, and Zane Love caught off guard here. Now he has to dive for it as Muirhead stood between he and the ball. He's pleading for a penalty, nothing doing there, but Zane Love comes up with the grab.
Yeah, and a little bit of a miscommunication. They go for the slide to clear, don't quite get it. Zane Love there, once he has that ball, it's an even play. I don't think there's a foul there at all. If anything, you know, once the keeper has that ball in control of it, forwards have to kind of let it be. I'm not sure that Zane Love quite had possession of the ball, but 2 hands on it. Fair fight, fair battle. Well done by Zane Love to just clean it up. Could have been disastrous. Southern Indiana withstands another attack.
Corner coming here for Southern Indiana off of an excellent run there from Dogby. McCloskey takes his spot. McCloskey lobbing it in. Calderbank with the header. Follow up by McLeod. Goes out of play.
Not a bad look for the Teal. That ball comes in near post. Like you said, Calderbank does a great job of just the flick on right here. Keeps it alive. And then it looks like it was Jet McLeod just trying to find that volley. Doesn't quite catch it right. Goes a little bit far.
Kellen Clegg being active here as we get bodies on the ground between Ventura and Brown, and it will be a free kick for Tempo.
Love the aggressiveness and the assertiveness of that pressure, but Nathan Brown has to be careful. That one a little bit too physical. You know, you just want to close him down, make him turn, and go back the other way.
4 shots taken between these two ball clubs. 1 on goal for both as well. Really, literally split right down the middle on shots taken, possession, you name it. It's just been a stalemate between these two. McLeod wins the ball away from Otuanyi. Calderbank pushes ahead here to Elam. Dogby ahead to Clegg. Nearly has a break that time, but just a little behind.
It's a good transition from the Teal. Hoping they win it back there for a second, but if he gets one more clean touch on it, Nathan Brown makes the great run on the left side here, and that's a tough opportunity, but hey, that's encouraging for the Teal. They're creating better chances than they did in the first half. A little bit of a tweak here, obviously, with the mentality.
Long run by the Tempo. Haji collides there with Kamara. And we'll see what the call is here. Both players coming down with it here as we'll have a whistle and a free kick, and I believe this will be a free kick for Tempo. The official walking over here to assess the situation. So we'll take a look at this collision again. Both players just taking a tough bump as you see Haji actually get up and then realize, oh, he took a pretty good lick there between he and I believe that was Oduro.
Yeah, I don't see much in that foul. A bit of a 50-50 ball. Oduro's coming in. Fast, reckless. They just kind of get tied up. Unlucky call for Haji, but it looked like he was holding his wrist on the way down there.
Just north of 50 degrees here at the Green Valley Soccer Complex. We'll take a look at this again. And that was Kamara who came in. Actually, he takes the leg to the thigh from Haji, and Haji's favoring, looks like his wrist, or yeah, he's definitely favoring his right hand there as we continue to have stoppage here as we hit the 60th minute here of this ball game.
Yeah, and I think that foul should be on Kamara, honestly. Looks like Abdikadir was coming across. He's already in position. Kamara comes through him. Should be a foul on Kamara.
But while we have a stoppage in play, transform your outdoors with Forever Lawn Kentuckiana. Get a beautiful, low-maintenance lawn all year round with Forever Lawn Kentuckiana. Perfect for homes, businesses, and playgrounds. Visit ForeverLawnKentuckiana.com for your free consultation today. Forever Lawn Kentuckiana. Beauty and durability in one. Still awaiting restart here as we imagine Haji Abdikadir being assessed here by the medical staff. As you see the Tempo players continuing to talk strategy here at the moment. But nevertheless, you have these extended stoppages here, Kristen Hazley. How do you take them in stride here as you go through a match like this?
If you're me, you get water first. Need the water break. But, you know, from then, if I'm a captain, if I'm Calderbank, I'm bringing my team in, and I'm saying, hey, great first 15 minutes. We've gotten off on a good foot. Let's keep it going. Can we up the pressure a little more? You know, what is the strategic change that they're looking for, whether it's playing quicker to that top line or whether it's switching the fields, they just need to continue it and take every chance possible.
The training staff here for Southern Indiana taking a look at Haji Abdikadir's right hand, it appears. And they are continuing to take a look at that there, as it looks like it's his wrist that they're working on.
Looks like Husseini's trying to pop that wrist back into place. Eek.
Of course, I would leave that to the medical professionals if it was up to me, but...
Trainer supervisor.
Well, Haji doesn't seem to be in too much distress here as he will lumber towards the sideline, and I would imagine that we may see a substitution here from Coach Vigar, and indeed we will here, as you see right at the bottom of your screen. Sidi Muhammad will come in here at the defender spot at that center back position that Haji is so good at. In fact, that is the only position that he has ever played for Southern Indiana, is there on that back line. So Haji Abdikadir, the veteran, will be coming out of the ball game, and Sidi Muhammad will check in here for the first time this evening.
Yeah, Sidi Muhammad, a name we're used to from the spring season. Obviously an experienced player. This team has enough depth that one injury isn't going to really derail the game plan too much, especially when you have someone like Sidi Muhammad coming right on in afterwards.
So when all is said and done, it appears it's going to be a free kick, and it looks like it's going to be for Southern Indiana. So you may have speculated correctly here when you were assessing the situation.
I think it's going to be
a drop ball.
Yeah, and they'll just play.
So no foul assessed here, but it's a free drop here to Southern Indiana, and we continue play. Here's a good run. You also see Alan Bezosa checking in as well. So 2 substitutions by Southern Indiana to get some fresh legs. Alan Bezosa, 2 goals on the season so far. He was a big goal scorer in the fall season a year ago in 2024 when he scored 8.
And it makes sense here for Dutch to get a few fresh legs in. They're really going with that high press. There's certain triggers that bring them all to stepping, and they're doing a nice job of stepping together. But again, that requires a lot of effort on the defensive end.
You also have Sam in here for Southern Indiana, as here's a big run coming up on the top. So you have Sam Fatumakiza coming in at that attacking front along with Elam. And it looks like Nate Brown is still in the ball game as well. So a lot of different change-ups here for Coach Vigar here, with 64 minutes having come and gone.
And each of these players present a unique challenge for the Tennessee Tempo back line. We talked about Nate Brown and how he can use his speed to kind of stretch out that Tennessee Tempo back line. You put in someone like Bezosa, and again, that's an 8-goal scorer last season. He's not someone that is not dangerous.
Southern Indiana trying to get some space. Here is Muhammad with some help from McLeod, and now to the other McLeod. Kramer will move into that center back position now along with McCloskey. McCloskey lobs it up, trying to get inside. Header on goal, and it's taken here by Donhauer, but an excellent opportunity there by Brown.
Yeah, a great ball in. McCloskey sees him. They're on the same page there. Just a little far out. It looks like it's Nate Brown there. Gets up, free at that penalty spot, but kind of hard to head it from there. If anything, you might try and bring it down. A good look. You like them looking more direct, but just needs to be a bit more advantageous for the Teal.
"65 minutes, now 66 minutes have come and gone here in this contest. Coming up the middle now, here are the Teal. This is Muhammad. He leaves it for Brown. Back and forth between he and McLeod. Here is a steal nearly here by Tempo, who also make a substitution. That is Ollie Joyner, who checks in along with Seth Poku here. So both teams taking advantage of the stoppage there to get some new bodies here on the pitch. Here is Bezosa applying pressure in the attacking third on Musagai. And it goes out of bounds. And I believe this is going to be a free kick here for Tempo here in their own penalty area.
Yeah, the Tempo bringing on Poku and Joyner up top. We just saw, it looks like they're going to be applying more of that press when the Teal backline has the ball. That's why you're bringing in those fresh legs, all right? Let them chase, let them put the pressure on the backline and see if they can force some errors and potentially counterattack.
Ball batted back and forth. It stays with Tempo at midfield. Ball won back here by Dogby, and he gets pulled from behind. That's going to be a free kick, obviously, but the official assessing things here, it may be a little bit more, as Dogby had a clear break on the ball right there and was pulled from behind. Kramer will stand over it here for the free kick. And now coming up is McLeod for it. Jed McLeod splits the defenders to Bezosa. Bezosa lets it go from Brown and back to Bezosa again and over to Dogby. No, this is Muhammad, I should say. Muhammad is going to be touched from behind there by Otuanyi. Quick on the free kick. Southern Indiana wasting no time. Kramer tries to look ahead. Here's Sam off to McCloskey. McCloskey tries to give himself some space, lobs it in, nobody there for Southern Indiana.
Great ball from McCloskey on that left foot, cuts it back, plays it in, just unable to find a Teal head there. Good defense by the Tennessee Tempo.
Well, we've been talking about how the possession game has gone between these two ball clubs. Southern Indiana dominating that here over the last 5 minutes or so as the ball scoots off the foot there of Dogby and out of play. Goal kick for Tempo.
Yeah, and Southern Indiana's doing a nice job of clogging up that middle third for the Tempo. They have to play it wide there, and then Southern Indiana is reading the pass. We've seen 3 or 4, I'll call them pickoffs, and they're going with speed the other way. Just doing a much better job of transitioning from not having the ball to having the ball for the Teal.
Well, if you're craving the ultimate gourmet hot dogs, sausages, and burgers, look no further than Doghouse. Made with top-quality ingredients and served on their signature grilled King's Hawaiian rolls, every bite is a game changer. Visit Doghouse today and taste the difference, and check out their full menu at doghouse.com. Well, we're getting a few raindrops now here on the pitch, back-to-back weekends as Tempo getting into the attacking front. And that's going to be a play defensively there by McCloskey, as you saw Fernando Mendieta of Tennessee Tempo, also another one of those substitutions, trying to plead for a penalty there in the penalty area, but it's going to be a corner kick here for Tempo.
Yeah, it's a good recovery by McCloskey. He does get a clearance. It looks like it may have glanced his hand, but here's the thing, unintentional. Your hand is in a natural playing position. Good no call by the ref, in my opinion.
Ventura with a high lob, and going up with the big frame there is Zane Love. Love with that signature side kick. Dogby now off to Bezosa. And back the other way, a late whistle. And I can't tell what the call is here, but it looks like this may be for a possible handball. It looked like Bezosa may have gotten a hand on it. No, we have a whistle, and it's going to be an injury. So we have a stoppage here as it looks like Daniel Sassano is the one who is down on the field.
Yeah, I thought it looked like a really good step from Bezosa. Didn't quite see the contact as much. It looked like they were both going for the ball. But the ability to step in and win that ball and transition back going forward, it's all kept alive by Bezosa on that play.
So it looks like Sassano may have taken an extremity to the face in a high traffic situation. We'll take a look at this again. You see Dogby coming down with it. Oh, and it's a head right there from Dogby to Sassano. Clearly unintentional there as you saw Dogby going up for the ball, but nevertheless, that's not a good feeling right there if you're Sassano.
No, that makes much more sense there. And, Sassano has the vision there. Obviously, they're both going for the ball, but it looks like, both players going straight up. If anything, Sassano goes into him a bit. But, again, unlucky for Bezosa as he had gotten the ball forward before they called it back.
Drop ball keeps things going as McLeod looks over to McCloskey. McCloskey unloads it right inside. Nearly goes in there off of the header from, looked like that may have been Dogby there in a really good position, but it just goes off target.
And I love the early service from McCloskey here. He takes a peek and sees he's got a near post runner. I think you might be right. That
was Dogby.
It was Dogby. I mean, a great run there. He tries to go near post, and he's just looking for a flick or a redirection there. I like the early service from McCloskey. They need to continue testing Donhauer in that net.
Here comes McLeod on the near sideline. He checks it back into the middle. And this is Sam trying to find another opening, but it's headed back away. Here is Sam again working in the mid. Gets it off to McLeod. Whistle, and looks like he may have been in an offside position.
That's so tempting, too. You make that quick 2v1, think you've got the defender beat wide. Always tough. It's got to be correctly timed by that forward. And again, Tennessee Tempo playing a higher line, just you have to be even more aware of it if you're the Teal.
The official trying to get Donhauer into the correct spot here for the free kick. So it was, in fact, an offside call here as McLeod was just in the wrong position there when they got the ball forward. Donhauer will put it back into the mid. Battle for possession as Mendieta comes back with it. He puts that right into the back of Poku, and here comes Otuanyi with a little bit of space. Long ball over to Ventura, cross inside, and just off of the position there is Oduro. Zane Love was quite literally on his heels there, Kristen Hazley. Southern Indiana's lucky to come away unscathed.
Yeah, and it's a great ball out wide here to Ventura, and it looked like it was potentially Marley that gets a foot on that.
That might have been Oduwanye, actually. But
Okay.
either way, you get that really good opportunity for tempo.
They've got two runners there. They had the back post runner as well. Bit of a wake-up call for Southern Indiana. If that ball goes wide, you've got to find your man in that 6-yard box. They've got to be the first to the ball there.
Well, the old saying goes here, Kristen, something's got to give between these two ball clubs because both of them have been working their strategies for possession, but nothing has really been able to come of it on either end.
Yeah, and I think, the Teal have really done a nice job of keeping possession this half. They're doing a good job of moving it forward when the opportunity is there. But against a team like Tennessee Tempo, they thrive on possession. They pride themselves on dominating possession. So when you take that away from them, how do they react?
Sam applying some pressure here, getting a little help from Brown as you see some hand fighting. Brown comes away with the possession. Bezosa has a little space here. He tries to get the cross in front of the net. Nothing there. It goes wide and out of bounds. And it's a throw in here for the Teal.
Great ball in, plays Bezosa in. I love his diagonal touch. Beats his defender with speed, able to get that cross off. It's low, it's with pace, and he almost gets an own goal there.
That's kicked out of bounds. We'll see who comes away with the ball. It looks like it's going to be a corner coming up here for Southern Indiana. So Nate Brown will take it here from this side of the pitch.
And we've seen Tennessee Tempo almost wasting away their corner kicks, trying to play near post. Very easy for Southern Indiana to clear and cover. They really need to take advantage of this here. Can they get an option off of this service?
Brown puts it up in front. It's punched out there by the keeper and Donhauer.
Good save by Donhauer. Comes out about it as 6, and For all you young keepers watching at home, that is exactly where you want that punch to go. He goes up with two hands, it goes out, it goes wide, and it doesn't go for a corner.
McLeod, and just goes behind Sam that time. This is Marley. Puts the long boot back into the attacking third of tempo. Poku sends it up and in here to Otowanyi. Out to Mendieta. And there you see Sassano back into the ball game after taking that shot to the face earlier.
Good to see him back. Obviously, head injuries always a concern, especially in this sport.
Marley back ahead, trying to find Otowanyi. It gets into the feet here of Ventura. Here's an opportunity for tempo. Good defense this time by Kramer, who's in an excellent position to break up that attack. Steal away by tempo, though. Again up front, just out of the reach of Joyner that time. McCloskey will try to win possession here, and he does. Zane Love says, "I've had enough of this," and puts it back the other way.
And it's this second ball here. You saw in that previous possession, Tennessee Tempo wins that second ball, and that's what creates those opportunities in them going forward on there. Same thing going back the other way for the Teal. It's that second ball. Can you pick it up and turn it into a spell of possession?
Salati looking on to the cut that time on the other side for Elam. Mendieta comes away with the possession. McCloskey, though, steals it right back. Here's Elam. Elam gets tripped up on the far sideline. It's poked out, and it will stay here with Southern Indiana.
Great work by the Teal there to just lock the ball in as soon as they lose possession. You see them collapse onto that tempo player and regain it. That does so much for your attack, for your mentality. It's a great work effort, or great work ethic from the Teal.
Well, we have a stoppage in play here at the moment, so Martin's Body Shop and Clarksville Collision are proud to support Southern Indiana FC. For over 50 years, they have been Southern Indiana's top collision repair centers with certified technicians and locations in New Salisbury, Georgetown, and Clarksville. They'll handle your insurance claims and get you back on the road fast. Choose Martin's Body Shop and Clarksville Collision. Find them online or on Facebook. Well, lots of long stoppages here in this second half, so I would imagine we'll have a hefty amount of stoppage time once we hit 90 minutes.
That would not surprise me, and if we're still tied 0-0 going into that, expect a couple minutes of just all-out soccer. Things are really going to open up.
But we'll see Destin and Leo come on here for Southern Indiana FC. So a few change-ups here for the Teal as we work into here to the final 10 minutes of regulation.
And we mentioned it earlier, Southern Indiana FC just doing a nice job of finding those transition moments, and they've created a lot more chances in the second half.
Still, though, many of those chances are starting to dwindle away here as we get down into crunch time. Bezosa working in some traffic. Elam and Bezosa trying to get it out of the corner as Bezosa tries to cut it back up into the middle. Here is McLeod. Off to Leo, and now into the other side this time to Muhammad. Muhammad tries to split the defender's legs, but it's not quite there as Ventura comes away with the steal.
It's a beautiful switch there. They pivot the ball from the right side to the left side so quick that Muhammad has a look at going into the box, but heavy touch there. Maybe not the best decision with 2 or 3 defenders waiting for you.
The last time these two teams met was back on September 28th. It was a 3-0 victory for Tempo. Granted, Southern Indiana was playing with 10 men for basically the majority of the match after Haji Abdikadir was assessed a red card in the 2nd minute. It's been a lot cleaner this time between these two ball clubs as they've both been at full strength. Stolen away here by Southern Indiana.
Again, it's that second ball. You need to win if you're the Teal.
Here's an attack by Tempo. It's foiled here by Salati.
Looks like offsides. Good work there by the Southern Indiana back line as they're transitioning. It can be really easy to just sprint backwards, right? And just try, be like, oh man, I've got to recover. To have the discipline to check your left, check your right, make sure you're in line, that's what gets them the ball back.
Also, who we saw checking in for Southern Indiana was Daniel Curranziza, wearing number 23. Here's a chance now for Tempo. Joyner tries to get one going. That is off target, and behind the net it goes. And that'll be another shot off target here for Tempo. That is now their 4th shot with 1 on goal so far here today.
Yeah, Joyner doing a nice job on that left side. Just beats Husseini a little bit to the end line. Nice job by Husseini, though. Forces him so much to the end line that he really doesn't have a good angle there to put anything on frame. Good defending, but, you know, something to be aware of in these last few minutes is that pace that Joyner has.
6.5 minutes remaining here in regulation. Again, no overtime here during the regular season, nor penalty kicks. If we end in a draw, it is 1 point apiece to both teams. But to be quite honest, even if it's a draw, that basically results in more or less a win for Tempo, because Southern Indiana is certainly more in need of a victory here in those 3 points to get back closer here in the conference standings.
Yeah, I think the Teal would be disappointed to walk away with a draw, especially with how much better they've played in the second half. When we talked to the coaching staff earlier this week, they said they expected a victory, that they were capable of possessing and could outpossess Tennessee Tempo, which we've seen them do at this half. Now it's just a matter of finding the back of the net, digging deep, finding that resilient, focused attitude to finish it off.
Hard touch there by Muhammad. He's going to be given a yellow card for that, so it's a free kick in the attacking third for Tempo. So a yellow card here in the 85th minute for Southern Indiana FC's Sidi Muhammad. Henry Poku standing over the ball right now here for Tempo as everybody tries to stay in position.
Yeah, defensively, looks like they're going man marking. Should leave a player or two free to win the ball.
Poku sends it dead on. Muhammad is able to head that one out, but it's recovered here by Poku. Here comes Sidi Muhammad with a break on the ball. Muhammad flying down the near sideline. He gives himself some space. Keeping pace, though, is Ventura. Leo coming in for help as it's a roll out of bounds and a throw in here for Tempo.
Great pickup and great instinct there by Muhammad to just go forward with speed, run at that back line. He took that big touch, though, a little bit diagonal towards the corner. You'd like to see him take it towards the net if he can. Just puts himself in a better angle to find a good shot.
Leo able to put it in play here as Bezosa nearly has an opening, but just mishandles the ball. McLeod trying to win possession. Instead, it is Poku. It's sent forward. Kramer comes down with the header. This is Seth Poku. Leaves it for Henry Poku. Pushed in front of the 18 this time. Muhammad puts it back out for Leo to pick up, and he will bring it upfield. Leo with the lob ahead this time, trying to track down Sam. But Poku's able to get there to foil the attack. Well, time is certainly at a premium now for both of these ball clubs.
Yeah, we know both of these sides can score very quickly. You would think that, the Teal have a better run of play, a little bit more momentum, but all it takes is one counterattack.
Here's an opportunity now. This is Sidi Muhammad. Leaves it out for Bezosa. Gets up in front. Nobody there in an offside position for Southern Indiana on that one. Man, that was awfully close.
Yeah, and I think it's this ball here to Bezosa. Obviously not in a great position to see it, but heck of a touch there for him to go at the keeper. Forces Donhauer to make a decision. He stays home. Again, offsides, but the right idea, and those are the opportunities the Teal need to put away.
In the final 2.5 minutes of regulation, we will certainly have a lot of stoppage time to make up for here in this second half. Well, taking the match to the apex and keeping the energy high, Apex Music is the official DJ of Southern Indiana FC. From game day hype to unforgettable events, Apex Music is here to deliver top-tier entertainment. Whether you need a DJ for your next party, wedding, or corporate event, they've got you covered. Learn more at apexmusiclou.com. That is apexmusiclou.com. McLeod with the long ball to the near side, trying to track down Muhammad there. Bezosa in the middle, touches to himself, heels it back to Leo. Bezosa with some help from McLeod. Bezosa in some traffic. Outside to McLeod. Gets it up top here this time again. Trying to get the roller is Daniel that time. And it goes out of bounds. A throw in here for Tempo.
Yeah, nice spell there. They look to switch the field from that back line, then just possess little combinations here and there, trying to find a soft spot into the box.
Well, if you're looking for the perfect spot to unwind, the Exchange in New Albany offers delicious, locally inspired dishes, craft cocktails, and a great atmosphere for any occasion. Whether you're celebrating a win just enjoying a night out, the Exchange is the place to be. Visit exchangeforfood.com to explore the menu and plan your visit today. Looks like George Abner will be coming in. So George Abner will take up one of the spots here on the defense as you see some hooking there from Tempo, but the officials let things go. Here is Elam in the middle. Elam Dogby gets to the outside, crosses in forward, and that's going to be a save. That's a shot on goal by Elam Dogby from a very steep angle. But coming down with the save here is Donhauer.
Yeah, and Elam Dogby does nice to beat one defender, two defender. Speed here. Oh, man, he's got... Let's see, it looks like that
was Sam there, right up in front.
Yep, Sam's right there waiting. If he can pull that ball back a bit, just out of the reach of Donhauer, they might be looking at a 1-0 lead. Again, though, can he do that? Keep going. Once he gets the ball, attack that back line with speed.
By the way, we are in the first minute of stoppage time here, so we'll see what either side can do to take advantage of whatever time they have left. Back into the middle. Abner with Dogby. Daniel. And now out to Sam. And it goes out of bounds.
If I'm Tennessee Tempo at this point, I'm almost hoping for a draw based on how the last 15, 20 minutes of possession have gone for the Teal. Really just creating more opportunities than we saw either team make in the first half.
I mean, for Tempo, a draw certainly does not hurt things from where they are in the conference standings. Southern Indiana certainly in more need of the victory than Tempo. Pushed forward here to Poku. Into the second minute of stoppage time. Seth Poku threads the needle up here this time to, that is Joyner. Gets away from it. Poku puts a shot inside and an easy save here by Zane. Second shot on goal today here by Tennessee Tempo.
It's a decent look there. Not too much power on it. Easy enough for Zane Love to clean up. But credit that Southern Indiana back line not giving the Tennessee Tempo many open looks at all.
Into the third minute now of stoppage time. Salati Husseini with some nifty play using the sideline there to keep possession. Leo ahead here to McLeod. Loose ball corralled here by Sam. And tugged from behind there by Ventura. You've been seeing a lot of that here today, and that's going to be a yellow card on Ventura here in the 93rd minute.
Yeah, I thought that was coming for him. That's about the third or fourth foul, and definitely the second one that he's made as a player's trying to get into that attacking third. Just gets a handful of jersey there.
You certainly don't like to see that. I mean, even though you're trying to make a good defensive play, it's like at the end of the day, if he's got you beat, he's got you beat, but I digress.
You're right. I hate to see it, especially with the pace that some of these guys have. It could just be one touch and they're gone, which again, why you see those quote-unquote professional fouls.
Elias McLeod with the free kick here. He'll have to send this one quite a ways. A liner right inside, headed up and off the post that time. Oh my goodness. And on the recovery, it stays in play, but what an opportunity for Southern Indiana to nearly get one up there. And now more pressure being applied. Kramer working up top. Outside to Dogby. He lobs it in. Here is Kramer again. He tries to keep possession. Mendieta comes in for the harassment there. Dogby tries to get some room for a cross. He lobs it inside, headed up. Nobody there for Southern Indiana. There's a handball that looked like it was not seen there by the referees as we enter the 5th minute now of stoppage time.
Whew, how about that chance? I tell you what.
It's been a little tense here.
That ball from that free kick restart had to be perfect, and we've got the great angle of it. You see it going, and we're like, okay, could be good, could be good, could be really good. Oh, man, just needs to get a little touch forward on it, and that might find the back of the net. Impressive restart there from the Teal.
Excellent camera work by our cameraman Elijah Mash on site here tonight, as well as Sean Walker, our producer. Donhauer sends this one back into the attacking third. Southern Indiana still has to stay on their toes. It's sent forward. Tempo looking for an opening. Abner is able to at least get that one away and out of play, as we are now at 5 minutes of stoppage time.
I like that decision by Abner. Bouncing ball, you don't want to mess around with it with two attackers on your back. Just go ahead, play it wide, let your midfield get in behind.
Tempo with Joyner coming just off the 18. Gets into the corner. Flushed out there by Southern Indiana. Free kick coming here for Tempo. Or rather a throw-in, I should say.
Yeah, and they could, we saw this early in the match, a long throw here could get into the box. You've got to be on your toes for Southern Indiana.
Touched out there by Tempo. Goal kick here for the Teal. Well, the chances now here for Southern Indiana, as I would imagine, we are nearing the end of this contest here with stoppage time draining away.
Yeah, that you think they might have one more trip down the pitch here. Potentially. I mean, we had quite a lot of stoppage time with the injuries.
Here's Leo in the middle, has some space. He lobs it out to Elam Dogby on the other side, and tracking it down this time is going to be Daniel. Goes out of bounds. And a corner kick awarded here to the Teal.
This is a gift here, potentially their last look at the victory. Looks like it's going to be in swinging from the left foot. Can you get on everything? You want to smash that box, maybe leave one player at the top.
Well, they're going to allow for this corner kick to proceed. Lobbed up. An opportunity. Nothing there for Southern Indiana. McLeod on the other side. Kicks it back outside to Leo. Up ahead to McLeod. Short ball this time. Jed McLeod nearly comes away with that one. And there is the whistle for full time. Well, after 97 minutes and change, we are dead even at 0-0 here in this ball game. Both teams coming away with a point. But nevertheless, lots of effort. Both teams certainly did an excellent job of at least trying to play to their strengths. But at the end of the day, both teams come away with just the singular point here in this one.
Yeah, and credit to Tennessee Tempo. You know, we talked pregame that game management was going to be huge in this game. And that's exactly what the Tempo did in that second half. They knew they weren't going to get the majority of possession. They knew they weren't getting the opportunities they were early on. So they just sat back, they withstood the pressure, and they managed what was in front of them.
Meanwhile, you look ahead here for Southern Indiana FC. They go on the road to Tango FC here in just a week's time. That was a team whom they beat 12-0 last time that they faced. So either way, you have a favorable matchup coming up here coming off of this one.
Yeah, they'll obviously be able to rebound here in a positive way. Hopefully this doesn't get them down too much. You know, 0-0 draw. They obviously wanted the win. The Teal did. You know, they were confident coming into the game this week, just not able to find the back of the net, even though they created some really dangerous chances in that second half.
Kristen Hazley, a pleasure working with you again, my friend.
It always is, Kurt. I love watching soccer with you, and it's a great time.
Tonight's game has been brought to you by River City Mortgage, accessible, authentic, transparent. For Elijah Mash and Sean Walker and Kristen Hazley, I'm Kurt Darling saying so long till next time. 0-0 the final score, but in this one between Tennessee Tempo and Southern Indiana FC. You've been watching the ISC Sports Network.